a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like I said.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
Thank you for joining us on Aloore Radio. We are transmitting from the GSM Studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism here in Agodi Secretariat in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. I wouldn't know the exact time that you are in your various countries, but it's a lovely and a bright afternoon here in Oyo State, here in Nigeria. And it is a pleasure to welcome you to another edition of your program, our program here on Aloore, tagged the Head of Service Speaks, the H.O.S. Speaks. You are welcome. And my name is Aboyede Ojo. Thank you for joining us again. I will be right back after this very short break.
We bring you everything from breaking news,
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
world news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like I said.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
We appreciate you for staying tuned to Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM Studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism here at Agodi Secretariat in Ibadan. You are still on to the Head of Service Speaks, and this is a program geared towards creating and fostering relationship between the Oyo State civil and public servants and the office of the head of the Oyo State Head of Service. And for our new listeners on this program for today, you can join us on all our various social platforms and handles on our Facebook, www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio. You can join us on the YouTube at Aloore Radio, on our website, www.alooreradio.com. We are also on TikTok. You can join us there too at Aloore Radio. And if you want to call us, because we are expecting you to call us today on Aloore Radio, the Head of Service Speak, on our studio line, which is 090-3985-3731. I'll take that again. The studio line remains 090-3985-3731. We would like you to continue to share and reshare our program on Aloore Radio. It's nice to know that you are out there. And before I bring my guest for today, I want you to just relax and know that we are here for you today. And we will be right back after this short break.
We bring you everything from breaking news,
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
world news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like I said.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
Welcome back to the Head of Service Speaks, and it gladdens our heart to know that you, our listeners, are out there. As I said earlier before going on the short break, you can join us on the Facebook at www.facebook.com/Aloore Radio, on our YouTube at Aloore Radio, and especially you can call in on the studio line, which is 09039853731. On today's episode, it gladdens my heart to introduce our guest for today, because we will be discussing on issues relating on cabinet and special services matters here in Oyo State. And to do justice to all our various issues that might be raised is a very, 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 very important and personality that we have here in Oyo State. I always tell you that in Oyo State, the administration under the able leadership of our governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, always puts the right peg in the right hole. And to discuss on issues relating to the cabinet and special services in Oyo State for today is no other person than the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services in person of Mrs. Olubunmi Olufunke Oni, MNI. You are welcome, ma.
Thank you. Good
I
afternoon.
believe I'm not going to be fined today.
Not at all.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. You are very much welcome to Aloore Radio. But ma, before we actually start with the crux of the matter concerning cabinet and issues, I would have actually stood up here, but because of the ethics of the studio, because it is an honor to be seated side by side with you today, knowing that you started your service as an information officer, which the little girl that I am also am walking the line here today, and seeing the position that you are, and even the position you will still get to. It's amazing. It's amazing. It is really an honor to be seated with you today.
Thank you.
All
praises be to God.
Hallelujah. I'm a bit jittery, you know.
No, you don't.
Because I know I'm sitting with a professional here. Who knows the onions of everything that I'm going to do.
We are all learners every day.
Thank you so very much. You're welcome. We've been talking with the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services here in Oyo State. But before we go to the details, I will want to read a brief, because if I have to go to the details of our profile, we might just end the program there. But I've been given approval by her to just give you this for her. Talking about the Permanent Secretary of Cabinet and Special Services in Oyo State, Mrs. Olubunmi Olufunke Oni, MNI. She was born some over 50 years ago at the local government, at Lagilu local government. She is happily married. It radiates on her, definitely. She is a graduate of political science, a degree she obtained in 1989 from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. She also bagged Master's Science, Political Science and Public Education in 1991 and MPA Public Administration in the year 2006 from University of Ibadan and Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, respectively. She later attended the prestigious National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Kuru, near H.O.S, Plateau State, where she earned the title MNI. Congratulations on that one. I know this. I know you've added more feathers even to that already.
Yes, it's a great privilege.
It is.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's go to her career progression. Mrs. Oni was employed into the State Civil Service on 30th June 1992 as Information Officer 2, grade level 08. She transferred into the Administrative Officer cadre as Senior Administrative Officer in 1996. She rose from the ranks and was promoted Director in 2013. She was a Coordinating Director at Oyo State Post-Primary Schools Teaching Service Commission between 2017 and August 2019, when she was appointed a Substantive Permanent Secretary. Before her current posting, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services, she worked in various ministry, departments and agencies of which are Ministry of Information, Secretariat Ibadan here, Ministry of Finance, Oyo State Civil Service Commission, Ministry of Works and Transport, Ministry of Women Affairs, Community Development, Social Welfare and Poverty Alleviation, Oyo State Solid Waste Management Authority, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, just to mention a few. Our guest has attended several trainings, seminars, and workshops, both local and international. Also, she has undertaken a series of hard work assignments in the course of her career in the civil service. Mrs. Oni MNI is a member of various organizations and professional bodies such as Institute of Public Administration, Administrators of Nigeria, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, Forum of Administrative Officers of Oyo State, and Justice of Peace, just to mention a few in that regard. She has received many awards and recognition, prominent among which are Documentary and Current Affairs Program of the Year, Nigeria Union of Journalists, Oyo State, Distinguished School Administrators Award, Ibadan Southwest Branch of Nigeria Union of Teachers, Exemplary Service and Distinguished Fellow Award, Forum of Administrative Officers of Oyo State, Award of Excellence in Leadership and Productivity, National Productivity Center, Abuja, in collaboration with Leadership and Professional Ethics Consult. She is also a member of the National Institute MNI, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Kuru, Plateau State. Our hobby include listening to music, reading, watching educative programs, and mentoring. I present to you again the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services, Mrs. Olubumi Olufunke Oni MNI. It's nice to meet you. This short profile is intimidating to me. And I'm super glad that in the administration of our governor in Oyo State, as I said when I was actually introduced, coming into on the program, that he always puts the right peg in the right hole. And for this intimidating profile, I know you're doing a great job at the Cabinet and Services.
Well, thank God.
You're welcome, ma'am. Now to our listeners, I believe you're out there listening to us on Aloore Radio on the Head of Service Week. Your Honor, ma'am, may we proceed to the crux of the matter that we are here today, ma'am?
Let's go ahead.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Your Honor, it is a known fact that Oyo State Executive Council as a body is key to decision making in the state. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, of course.
Can you brief us about the Executive Council and its roles as a body?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to appreciate you for the brief and the introduction
Thank you so much.
to this program. The State Executive Council is the highest decision-making body in the state. And by this I mean, for a decision to be taken by the State Executive Council, it means that it can go to the market and go to anywhere and be accepted, because we have various personalities that are in that committee. The committee, the council, is headed by His Excellency, the Executive Governor, who at that meeting is referred to as President in Council. So when any of the council member want to introduce or refer to him, they refer to him as Mr. President. The Deputy Governor is the Deputy President. The Secretary to the State Government is the Secretary to the Council. All honorable commissioners are members of that council. Because of some projects that will be discussed, so that there won't be any, this is what they said at the council and this is what we are bringing in, the Director General Bureau of Public Process is in attendance at that meeting. So, to decide, they will all discuss. They will bring out the merits, the demerits of any issue before they arrive at a decision. And whatever they decide on is law. So that is why it is usually referred to as the highest decision making body. Whatever you have decided at your ministry, that still needs the approval of the ESCO is yet to become law until the State Executive Council ratifies it at its meeting. At the State Executive Council, like I earlier mentioned, we have a lot of people that contribute. I've mentioned the Mr. President, Mr. Deputy President. I've mentioned the Secretary to the Council. I should also mention the Chief of Staff as well as the Head of Service and all commissioners, as well as the DG due process. They are all members of the State Executive Council, and they all decide on issues that is brought before the council. What do they do there? Like I said, they discuss and ratify. Discuss what? They discuss what to bring in from all ministries, departments, and agencies as presented to the council. For example, we have memorandum, we have brief, we have memo, random, we have briefs, we have notes to council, we have reports, we have other issues that is discussed under any other business, because you are at liberty after every other thing has been discussed to raise other issues, but principally memorandum, brief, and notes. Notes to council is in form of information. If you have anything in your ministry that you have done and you feel that other members of the council should be aware of, because they might be at a program on radio or in town and people will ask them questions regarding it, they should be briefed so that they will know how to attend or reply or respond to such issues or policy that is ongoing, or any issue that matter that is ongoing in that ministry, department, or agency. That is notes to council. That is information. You are informing them of what is going on in your ministry or your department or your agency. It requires no approval.
Okay.
And it requires no conveyance of any decision to anybody.
Just inform.
You are just informing them, this is what is happening in my ministry, or this is what we have done, or this is what happened, and this is the way that we have attended to it. You are not expecting the approval.
Okay.
You are only informing them. The memorandum is like the submission that you make in file, but in this case a formal one. It has to have an heading, an introduction, maybe bringing in history of the issue that you want to table before the council. The body, what is it that you have done and you want the council to know in respect of what you are bringing before the council. Usually it's on policy issues. That is, you want to do something, you are proposing to do something in your ministry or your agency, or you feel that government should do something regarding something that is under your ministry, and this is the way you want it to go. So you bring in the title, the history as introduction, the body, the steps that you have taken,
Right.
and then you bring in your prayer. Prayer is in form of recommendation.
The first time I heard about prayer, I was like, is it a prayer in session?
No,
I'm super. I want to hear about that now.
okay, it's about your recommendation. On this case, this is what we felt that the council should consider. This is the way it should go. So that is the prayer. You state it out, because you might be requesting the council on 3 issues. The council might approve 2 and leave out 1.
Okay.
The council might approve the 3. They might approve 1 and ask you to go and work on the other 2. So those are the prayers. That is the third part of the memo. So at the end of it, if it is approved, the secretariat, which I head, under the office of the secretary to the state government, will now convey the executive council extract, that is extract from what you have presented at the council, will now convey it to that relevant ministry. That ministry will now implement what has been decided. That is memorandum. However, the brief, which is another document that is usually brought before the council, is like that of memorandum. But in this case, it relates more with financial implication, with projects, something that will require approval of council to give you a go ahead on the spending. In this case, you must have obtained approval of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, their concurrence on whatever you want to do. That is in the estimate for that year. That proposal you are bringing before the council must have been contained in it. You must have obtained the approval in principle of His Excellency. That His Excellency is asking you to go ahead to undertake that project. You must have approached the office of the due process to check whether you have followed the required or laid down principles with respect to the project that you want to go ahead with. So if the due process is giving you a clean bill that you have actually gone through the necessary steps, and governor has given you the approval in principle, then you bring everything together.
I'm so sorry to cut you a bit, ma.
No problem.
Approval in principle.
Yes, that is approval in principle means that the governor is agreeing with your ministry that this is the way you should go with it.
I'm sorry, because the program is actually to enlighten the public and civil servants on everything. So are you saying that the approval in principle will come first?
Yes.
Before the old house will.
No.
Oh, okay.
Before it gets to council.
Before it gets to council. How would you not have access to get that from the governor first?
Okay, this is it. For example, I want to buy 10 notepad.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For my ministry.
Yes, ma'am.
I will write the memo.
Okay.
In the first instance, you must have presented it before the Ministry of Economic during the budget exercise, and it would have been in the estimates.
Okay, ma'am.
So I will now write a memo to His Excellency stating what I intend to do, how much it will cost, and the reason why I think it should be done, the benefit that the ministry or the populace, the members of the public will benefit from that project.
Okay,
I will state all that. I will now take it to His Excellency. His Excellency will now look at it. Is it what is required at this point? If he agrees with you, he will give you an approval to proceed on due process. That you can now go, because if you go to the due process and give process, see that you have done all that is required, and the governor feel that instead of you buying notepad, why don't you go do something else? Okay, so the first gets his nod to go ahead to take the next. So you now go to the due process, you get all that is required, and it is after that that we now take it depending on the threshold. That is depending on the area, the amount that is involved. Whatever that is not up to 100 million do not come before the council, in line with 2021 procurement law, procurement guideline. Initially, ministry handles below 5 million, but now they handle between 5 million and 49 million. So any project that falls between 5 million and 49 million will be handled by the Ministerial Tenders Board. Any project that comes between 50 million and 99 million comes before the State Tenders Board. And any project that comes from 100 million and above comes before the whole house, the whole council, the State Executive Council, who will now decide on it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. And actually, you are actually towing the line of my next question, which actually borders on, tendered board in Oyo State. Your Honor, should please.
Can you please give me
Okay.
a few more minutes to
okay, no,
to
no problem. Ma'am.
quickly conclude on the state executive council so that
All
we'll
right,
not
ma'am.
come back again. So, we have discussed about the memorandum,
Yes.
we have discussed about the brief, we have discussed about the note to council.
Yes.
When all that is done, the secretariat will now reduce it into minutes, as you know it, but we call it conclusion at the executive council, and it is on yellow paper, not on white paper. That has been the tradition. Don't ask me why is it yellow paper.
You can't read. You already saw my face, but I don't think I've ever seen yellow paper. I know blue. I know
Blue is minuting sheet.
I've never seen yellow.
We use green as agenda. You use the green for our agenda,
All right, ma'am.
and it is not on white.
Okay.
We use yellow for our conclusion.
Beautiful.
So when you see any yellow paper, any yellow document, you see that it is from ESCO, and whatever we do there is confidential. It is not individualistic.
Okay.
It is not that because I'm in support of that project, I will now write the Honourable Commissioner for Information is in support of this project. Dr. Wasiu Olatibosun is in support of this project. No, we don't write the names of commissioners or whoever that speaks there.
Okay.
Their name will be on the first page, but in the body of the document, it is their offices that you state there, and it is sometimes you do not even state their offices except it is critically necessary. We will just say that this is the conclusion. This is what we concluded upon. That is why it is called conclusion. It is what we agreed on. That is what will be listed there. So I think for now on state executive council,
Yes.
we can proceed to
All right. Thank
the
you
next
so much.
question.
That's very enlightening. I believe our listeners out there listening to us on Aloore Radio, the head of service speaks, actually gaining one or two things from the permanent secretary, cabinet and special services. And for you to join us on this program, you can call us on our studio line 090-398-53731. Your Honor, ma'am, as I said earlier, that you've actually told the part of the next question, and a question that I wanted to ask, ma'am, which borders on the State Standards Board. Your Honor, can you please throw light on the roles of State Tenders Board and its relevance in the civil and public service?
Okay, State Tenders Board is also about projects. And like I said in my explanation about a few minutes ago,
Yes.
it handles projects between 49 million and 99, between 50 million and 99 million. And it's headed by the secretary to the state government. And we have selected commissioners in that board as approved by His Excellency the Executive Governor. You must have also followed the necessary process, like I explained initially, the approval in principle, the due process, and all that before bringing it before the state executive, before the State Tenders Board.
Yes, ma'am.
However, State Tenders Board is limited to few numbers of people, not all honourable commissioners that are members. So the only thing is that when you are through with the process at the State Tenders Board, you still take it to His Excellency the Executive Governor for his approval before we convey it. We convey such through the award letter to whoever that wins the award. And there must have also been some processes that would have led to that.
Okay, ma'am.
It could involve advertisements, depending on the process that the due process has requested that you use, or as advised that you use.
All right, ma'am.
It might involve advertisement, it might involve open bidding, it might involve selective or restrictive bidding, it might involve direct labor, or whichever. It depends on that mode that the due process has advised, that will inform where the process that will culminate in you bringing the brief before the executive before the state tenders board. So after that, we write the minutes, we write report, we write the submission to His Excellency, we get his approval, and we convey to the winner of the award.
So before you continue, Ma, you mentioned that concerning the state standards board that it's kind of restricted and just particular commissioners that are part of this board. The commissioners that will be involved, these commissioners that are involved in finance, anything that has to do with money alone?
That is it. For example, we have the commissioner we have Attorney General, so that it will help us to look at the nitty-gritty, the rule, whether we are breaking the law or not.
Okay.
The commissioner for finance will be there. The commissioner for works and transport will be there. Due process is there. Budget and planning is there. And any other people that the governor feel that he wants to be part of that committee.
That's key.
But those people that I've mentioned are principal actors in the activities of state tenders board.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's continue on that. The cabinet department is saddled with the responsibility of opening of bids, as you just said, for various projects of MDAs. Your Honor, should please educate us on the procedures of bid opening. When you're talking about bid opening, majority of civil public servants might be,
sometimes we, in various ministries,
yes, ma'am,
we have people that are usually saddled with such responsibility.
In each
ministry, you have your director admin and supplies. You have your director planning, research and statistics.
Okay.
Both of them will handle the issue of bid opening. But these days, people will also want to, because it's my departmental project,
Okay.
I want to handle it. Well, no big deal, but it's better you allow people that knows their onion to handle it.
Exactly.
But you can learn along the way. The bid opening, for example, if I want to construct a bungalow, maybe a clinic,
Right.
The first step is approval in principle. For any project, it's approval in principle. For any request, approval in principle. That is, the approving authority is saying you can go ahead. There is fund for it. Where you want to place that project is suitable. That is what people is asking for. For example, during the last campaign process, the governor went around asking, what do you need?
Exactly what they do.
So if they have asked for borehole and you are saying we want to give them light, electricity, the governor will say, let's first or they will have asked for electricity and you are asking, let us do borehole. The governor will say, let us do electricity so that we can use it to power the borehole. Or they have asked for borehole and they don't have electricity, let us do the borehole so that we can get generator to power it for them. So the governor will first agree whether it is part of the program for sustainable development in 2.0 currently, whether it's part of accelerated development, and whether it will help with it. So you first get the approval in principle is key to any project that you want to do. It is after that you go to due process office, Bureau of Public Procurement. It is there that they will tell you this project you want to do is in the neighborhood of this million, or this is the way we want you to do it. You need, for this to meet what standard, you need to do open bidding, and with that you go to advertise. And when you go to advertise, you must let the cabinet department know when they will be submitting their adverts, because the bid will be their bid, because the bid will be submitted to the cabinet department, not to your ministry.
Okay.
And you will let us know when they will start, when they will end, and it is immediately after they end that the bid opening will come up. and they will be the contractors that are submitted bids will be informed of the date of the opening. We will let them know that we are opening the bid on Tuesday or on Wednesday, and whoever among the contractors that chooses to attend, they are free to come around, because it's not something that is secret. The bid will be open, they will sign that this is what was contained in the document, this is the figure, and thereafter the bid will be handed over to the relevant ministry, the procuring entity, the procuring ministry, for evaluation. It is after they might have evaluated that they will now take it back to His Excellency for approval, if it's something that is coming to the State Tenders Board, that the governor would have seen that they have actually taken necessary steps, and that everything has been done according to world class standard before bringing it to the council. You know that when it gets to the council, the town will not be there to be saying, okay, let us go and check, go and bring this file, go and bring that. They don't come to the council with files, they come with council with documents. So the governor would have browsed through the files and see that they have done the necessary thing. So he will now approve to be slated for council meeting. If it's something that is going to the State Tenders Board, same process will be done. If it's for the ministry, the commissioner, the PS, they will know what to do.
You know what amazes me? Because some people always think that when you're talking about civil and public servants, that they're just lazy people that are just there. But from all that you are saying, this is great.
Yeah, that so is the way people see, because they are not part of the system.
Exactly.
That's the part of. Some people will even say they approved 20 million for that project last year, and this year they are now approving 30 million. Where is that 20 million? They must have embezzled it. Whereas they might not have the procedure and because it's on paper does not mean that it has been expended.
Wow. This is really enlightening. Thank you so much, the Permanent Secretary. Before we continue on this program, we would want to quickly go on a short break.
Talk Real Estate is a program that brings you insights and guide you through your real estate journey.
Buying real estate is not just about
You're listening to Aloore Radio, Ibadan, Nigeria.
We bring you everything from breaking news.
President must know that this is a bad time for our nation. We must look for foreign support to save this nation.
World news, sport, music,
Girl, I just want me with you like I said.
and many more. To listen to our programs, follow us live on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Aloore Radio, Twitter and Instagram at Aloore Radio. You can also subscribe on our YouTube page on Aloore Radio. Make sure you click on the notification bell so you know when we are live. This is Aloore Radio, the voice of Oyo State.
You're welcome back to the program Head of Service Speaks, and I have with me the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services still in the studio with us. And before we round off the program, there are some pertinent things Your Honor, that you still want to wrap the program with, which are pertinent for our listeners out there to actually understand when we're talking about Cabinet and Service matters as Cabinet and Special Services, ma'am.
Well, that's true.
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said, the State Executive Council is the higher decision-making body. When reports are brought to the council, and we need to convey it to the MDAs, we convey it in form of action points. That is, these are the points the council requires you to take action on, to work on. For example, if they bring for example, the head of service usually presents issues that relates with the civil service, people that are dismissed brought to before the council. The council is saying, well, people in item 157 have been approved to be reinstated. Item 2 not to be reinstated because of some points. We will convey it to the office of the head of service in form of action points. And the cabinet department is not only about meetings, council decision alone.
I was about saying this.
We are
also,
also,
you do, don't you get tired?
We also handle the swearing in ceremony of key functionaries of government.
At least that would be accepted.
We also handle inauguration of committees, key committees of government, amongst others. So there, and what we are just asking for is for any MDA that is bringing anything to council, to make sure that they submit it on time, so that we will go through it. Wherever there is gap, we point it out so that they can go ahead and correct it before bringing it back to council. Bringing it a day or two before the council will just mean that you present it in the manner that you have brought it.
So these various ministries should actually work with you, so that even whatever they're bringing can have a smooth sail, even when it gets to the council.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Ma. And we've been talking with the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services, main person of Mrs. Olubunmi Olufunke Oni MNI. It has actually been a very insightful time here on Aloore on Head of Service Speaks today. I sincerely appreciate you, Ma, and you've given us an insight that that we will still call on you, Ma.
No
I hope
problem.
you would not mind.
No problem.
So that
Anytime.
we can actually trash the aspect of the special services on another time, Ma. And we will appreciate that very much. We really thank you, because we know we had to bring you out of your busy schedule to be here today. And she is not here alone. She came with directors even from the Cabinet and Special Services, and I also have in the studio directors from the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. It is an honor to be here with you again, Ma. And on this note, we will be coming to the end of the program for today, but I would want to let you know that this program, as you know, comes out fortnightly, and for the next edition that will be coming up on the 4th of May, I just want to let you know that it's not a program you would want to afford to miss. It's going to be big, and it's going to be bigger. It's going to be an interesting one. I wouldn't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, so I just want to keep it like that. But please join us on the next episode of the Head of Service Speaks, which is coming up on the 4th of May 2023, for a beautiful package that you will know that yes, Aloore Radio actually speaks, and it is always true, as they have said. It's another interesting edition that we've had here today on Aloore Radio. I want to thank all our studio engineers, all our camera crew that are here with us today. It is interesting to have you with us, to have this lovely package, and we'll want you to join us on the remaining programs here on Aloore Radio, transmitting from the GSM Studio, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, Agodi Secretariat in Ibadan. My name is still Aboyede Ojo. Thank you for joining us.
You are tuned to Aloore Radio, broadcasting from Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.
You are tuned to Aloore Radio, broadcasting from Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.